Electric Cafe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. In this video, I wanted to share a band that's not that well recognized, and it's been a band that I've been continuing to share their music with a lot of people over the last 15 or 16 years, and because I feel like they're so underappreciated and just not very well recognized, and that could be for a couple different things. One, considering the artist's productivity has been kind of inconsistent and then kind of been missing. And in fact, I can't find him online, and I'd like to talk to him. And I've always thought about trying to reissue his music because I love it so much, and actually put out some physical copies. But that's the other thing. The other thing is the second thing is there was really no vinyl copies. There was really no proper CD releases to his album. The couple singles that he did were CDRs. He was on a label that was pretty much a digital label for the most part. And so Diogenes Club, gentleman by the name of Matthew Williams, he's from Brighton, England. I can't say enough about this band. They've done some amazing songs, and I'm really happy to feature them and share them with you here today. There's 7 tracks specifically that are my favorite from this band, and they will go down as some of my most favorite, I guess you call it new wave, or really just synth pop or electronic songs. In the past 15 or 16 years, I remember the first time I heard this band, and I immediately thought that the lead singer sounded like Neil Tennant from Pet Shop Boys, and I'm such a huge Pet Shop Boys fan. And it almost sounded like I was hearing Pet Shop Boys again for the first time. Like, it put me back to like 1986, where I first heard Love Comes Quickly, and Love Comes Quickly is one of my favorite Pet Shop Boys songs. Probably top 3, if maybe even, I'm saying top 3 reasonably, but it could be number 1, it could be number 2, somewhere very, very high. I just love Love Comes Quickly. It's such a beautiful, melodic, smooth track. I love Neil singing it. The oohs and the ahs at the end, and the beautiful fade out, and the intricate kind of rhythm, very analog sounding rhythm as well. Just fantastic. Love the strings. Love the video. It was kind of like my ideal Pet Shop Boys track. Like, you had their kind of edgy stuff. I wouldn't say edgy, but Opportunities was fairly edgy when it came out. It was really nothing like West End Girls and Opportunities when they came out. Opportunities was the bass line was such a killer. It was like the first time you heard Rocket by Herbie Hancock, or Planet Rock, or just around that time there was some tracks that sort of started using a different, whether they used emulators or some of them use Fairlights and the first like Roland keyboards and stuff like that, and some of the Moog bass lines and stuff like that. Just some songs that you like never heard before, like sounds that you never heard before. Case in point, like Axel Foley from, or even I guess that's from what's the Eddie Murphy movie, Beverly Hills Cop, or you think of like Miami Vice, those kind of Harold Faltermeyer bass lines, or you think of like Airwolf, like the show. Like, there was some iconic tracks and sounds around 83 to 86 that were, sort of becoming a little bit more fine-tuned in the electronic side of the rhythms and bass lines and stuff like that, and keyboards. And so that period has a lot of iconic tracks. And if you're into synth pop and new wave and stuff like that, that first Pet Shop Boys album was it was like nothing that ever came before it, and it was so amazing. So when I hear Diogenes Club, not only I don't think about Pet Shop Boys from the production side, I do think of it from the melodies, but a lot of it is because Matthew Williams, his voice, it sounds like Neil Tennant a lot. I mean, he doesn't quite have the cadence and maybe the intricacies of Neil Tennant's voice. I mean, I talk to some people, and if they're not a Pet Shop Boys fan, Neil Tennant's voice kind of doesn't really suit them, or maybe he sounds really not to their liking, for a better way to say it. And I get that. I mean, Neil Tennant's voice, I don't think he ever wanted to be a singer, and that's kind of how they started. He started out talking on the tracks, and then he started singing, and then he probably felt a little more comfortable and kind of I wouldn't say hid behind the music, but somebody had to sing, and so Chris Lowe wasn't necessarily going to sing, although he kind of came out of his shell and did some lyrics as well. But Neil Tennant, he came out and started singing a little bit more. I would say even the first album, but the first couple singles, he's rapping on Weston Grill's Opportunity. He's kind of talking. So when Love Comes Quickly came out, which was one of the main singles from the album, then you could really tell, that he was a good singer in his own way, and he's not going to hit all the perfect notes, and he's not a fantastic technically sound singer, but it works really well with the music. And here, Matthew Williams with Diogenes Club, his vocal works fantastic. So I really happy, and I'm surprised I haven't done this video sooner. As a DJ, you love to turn people on to new music, and I don't think anybody kind of grows up, especially from my era, and says I want to be a DJ. Like you kind of like music, and you want to share music, and you want to play music, and then when you play music for people and you see how happy they are that you played them a good song, that kind of that happiness that you get from sharing music was one of the most important things. Equally as important as the first time that I really fell in love with the track, like played a new track and was like, wow, this is amazing. I can't wait to play for somebody else as well so they can get the same emotion and excitement that I get. And so, that's the part of being a DJ that really kind of hooks you in. Now it's a little bit differently. Like people want attention and people want, for different reasons, turn it into a job. It's a lot different than it was when I was growing up in the 80s and started being a DJ. Like I had sort of thoughts of not necessarily wanting to be, but I was kind of wanting to be maybe like a radio DJ. So I did top 40 lists and presented mixtapes and, occasionally would talk on a mix or something like that. Like kind of presented more in a radio show than actually like mixing the tracks. Although I segued them together, it wasn't necessarily like the way people present themselves now as a DJ. So it's a lot differently. But what it should go back to is you want to share music, and nobody. What I was saying was I didn't want to necessarily be a DJ. I just love to share music with people, and then eventually that becomes you start getting more technical about it, and you put more thought into the actual technical process and how you segue tracks and how you react to the crowd and how you make a night flow and stuff like that through the music you play and change emotions and change people's moods and excite them and get them to dance or get them to feel a certain way by the tracks that you play. Like that was the enjoyment of playing music for people, and that was how I kind of evolved into being a DJ. It was just for those loves, and also the technical side as well, and also the collecting side. So I could play different versions and extended versions and things like that. And long story short, I love sharing music, and I can't believe I didn't share this band earlier. So what I did was I picked 7 of my favorite tracks of theirs. 6 of them come from 3 singles that they did back in 2010. 2009, I first got a chance to hear one of the tracks, and it was called "Do You Know How to Feel?" And this track was so amazing. I just love the way the song started and the bass line and the keyboards and the chorus, and his voice goes so great with it. And I emailed him, and he sent me his latest CDR at the time, and I still have it. And he was a really nice gentleman. He first started it back in 2002 and sort of did some dance music for a label called Urban Torque. And they were kind of house and deep house, and there was some good stuff in there. But then around like 2008, 2009, he started to do synth pop, and that's where 6 of the 7 songs that I want to present to you are today. 2011, he released his first album, and then I didn't hear anything for quite a few years. And then 2016, he came out with a 2-track EP. There's a track called Failure, which I'll include, which is the 7th track on this list. And then again, disappeared for the last 9 years. I don't know if he's still doing music. I don't know if he's still interested. I'm sure, I've seen comments on YouTube videos of his, and he has a channel on YouTube. I think he has a Spotify channel and stuff like that. And so I'm sure people contact him all the time and probably just say, I love your music and stuff like that, but doesn't seem like he's, really released any music for the last 9 years again. So just kind of dormant again. And so, the 7 tracks that I want to present, they were never really on one particular release. And this is the first time I'm kind of reviewing and sharing music that wasn't necessarily, one release. I'm actually collecting them, my favorites, and putting them together just so I can share them with you inside of one video. If you like Smooth and you like Pet Shop Boys, I think you'll really like this. You may or may not like his voice. I'm not sure what you're into, but you'll either love this band or you'll think it's okay. That's probably where most people would be on this. I don't think there'll be a lot of people who says, "Oh, it's very good," or "I really like it," but it's not like. I think you'll really love this, or you'll think it's okay. And if you love it, I think you're going to be wowed by this band if you haven't heard them. There's some fantastic tracks on here. One of the great things that this particular artist does, the Diogenes Club, Matt Williams, is he's so great at evolving the lyrics into the atmosphere of the track or into the hook of the track. You'll hear it on most of these tracks. Almost every one of these does some particular voice effect where he's just kind of drowns out his voice and it just echoes into the background and kind of blends into the atmosphere or blends into the harmony and the melodies and kind of comes back and becomes part of the hook of the track. It's just amazing. I've never heard an artist do it to this extent and for so long and it be so clever and work so well. The last track, he almost does it for almost 2 minutes where the vocal is just continuing to go on to the point where it becomes part of the music and just like just another keyboard layer. It's just fantastic and so different. I've never heard any artist do it to this extreme and so well. But yeah, I'm curious to know your thoughts on this album and your scores. Feel free to put some in the notes. If there's something that you'd like me to review or you'd like to share some music with me, my email is down below. If you'd like me to make a video on it and give you my thoughts and ratings on it, definitely contact me. I've never really mentioned it, but if you do like my content, there is a donation link in my in the sections where you can see where you can contact me and some of my I guess social media links down below. There's a PayPal if you'd like to donate to my channel. I would appreciate it if you do it. So yeah, check out Diogenes Club, and there's 7 tracks that I picked for you. Tire yourselves around. Too soon. I could try and explain. Failure. Versailles. Do you know how to feel it? And also Early May.
You hug